Join us every Sunday for an episode of the Digital Business Forum
at 2 p.m. PST, 3 p.m. MST, 5 p.m. EST, and 10 p.m. GMT.
This forum will feature successful, experienced digital business owners with inspiring information to help you make that informed decision about starting your own digital business. By starting your own online business, you will have more free time to take control of your life, create generational wealth, retire early, and make money from anywhere in the world with just your laptop, phone, and internet. If this resonates with you, don't miss this Sunday. Digital Business Forum. Be informed, be inspired.
Hey everybody, how are you doing? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Oh, sorry about that. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're watching this from. My name is Dorothy Nakalema, if it's your first time to see me. Originally from Uganda and currently in the United States. So I'm a proud digital business coach, a former nurse, former anti-money laundering analyst, and a former safety and environment officer. So today's topic, it's kind of different accordingly to the topics we always come here and, discuss, bringing guests, like basically as our, platform like talks about Digital Business Forum, be informed and be inspired. So today it's about cybersecurity for digital entrepreneurs, 10 must-knows to keep your online businesses safe and stress-free. The reason why actually we had to come up with this kind of a topic, first and foremost, it's because we have an expert in our business at the same time on this show. And I think, was it David 2-3 weeks ago where we're discussing something and then we are like, we will need to come up with such a show, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. So before actually we proceed, let me allow you to introduce yourself so that we can dive into today's topic.
Thank you very much, Dorothy. Good. I think at this stage I can say good afternoon. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching us from. My name is David, an advisor on cybersecurity and digital business here in the US. We have this show, the Digital Business Forum, where we come out here every Sunday to inspire you and inform you about how you can leverage on digital technologies to create a sustainable business, to grow generational wealth, and to try a different way from the traditional, way we do business. So for today, yes, like Dorothy said, our topic is going to be centered around cybersecurity for digital entrepreneurs, what you need to know to operate securely. Back to you, Dorothy. Thank you. Muted.
Sorry about that. Thank you so much. So now, if you're running your online business, maybe you're into e-commerce, coaching, affiliated, marketing, digital products, whatever you are basically sitting on, as long as that is actually a real estate for digital, all right? So you can look and you don't need to be cybersecurity pro, but you need to be that cybersecurity, like the cyber smart, basically. That's what you need to be. And let me just take it over back to you, David, and take us through this amazing topic and share to our audience and followers out there.
All right. Thank you very much, Dorothy. Without wasting time, I would like to dive into some key areas that I believe are very key, and these have not much to do with any particular digital business. For as long as you operate online to do business, it means you're leveraging digital technologies and you're on so many or any of these platforms, then these are things you have to think about, okay, in order to protect your business, your clients, and pretty much the information that you're crossing across. I mean, you're crossing on the media. It could be anything. It could be Facebook. Okay, you're trading or doing something with Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. There's so many of you that are on YouTube and you're creating content on YouTube. Shopify. There's people doing drop shipping, Amazon, eBay. You know what I mean? And a lot of other content creators, digital content creators, say you have an online course. Okay, put yourself in those shoes where you've generated an online course, and you have people that are connecting to your platform or to your sources for these courses. They're paying money. So how do you need to operate these businesses securely, and how do you safeguard against the so many vulnerabilities and risks that are out there? So pretty much everybody that touches the digital platforms, this is a video for you. So I'll go ahead and share some slides. I have just 10 slides. I'm going to skim through them to redeem time. Today being a Sunday, I know that not everybody wants to book themselves into a lesson, but these are key points that I would like to push out there. So I'll try to skim through them quickly, but make the point so that you can go with something. Okay, so I'll go right ahead and share screen. And I hope you can see my screen. Yes. Dorothy? All right. Yeah. So here we go. Cybersecurity for digital entrepreneurs. 10 must-knows to keep your online business safe and stress-free. Okay. When we look at your online presence for business, you pretty much have a website, an online store, some kind of a portal, but whatever it is, let's categorize it as some kind of a website. And now this is primarily your front store. Okay. Mm-hmm. Look at it like your shop. Traditionally, you rent some infrastructure somewhere, call it a shop or a store, open doors, people start walking in. In as far as online business is concerned, your website or your Shopify, that's your front store. Now, and we're saying that your website, which is equal to your front, your storefront, you should lock the doors. And what do we mean by locking the doors? It means when you're operating this, you should implement secure controls to make sure that you're only allowing that traffic that's in the interest of your customers to come in. They take what they want, and you're doing what I would call a secure business transactions. So it means that in as far as your back end is concerned, and I mean the way you've set up your online shop, your online or your website, you should have very strong passwords. Should be on a secure. When you see HTTPS, that is these are I want to put it in layman's language. This is a secure protocol for accessing website. There's HTTP, okay, on port 80, for those that are technical, you know, and HTTPS, which is a secure. So your website, the way you access it, can be accessed using secure means, and that's HTTPS. So if you have created your website by yourself, mm-hmm. you should be able to determine that it's being accessed using HTTPS. That's the secure method. Otherwise, if it's being set up for you by, say, Wix, Shopify, and several other several other platforms. I believe YouTube and Facebook as well. Okay, if you're working with those kinds of platforms, that has already been taken care of for you. I'm talking about those people that you and I that are out there and you've taken care of your own website. Okay, an issue with the way it's being accessed is key for you to make sure that it's using secure protocols such as HTTPS. For the others that have been taken care of, you should consider, and this is for everybody, but for those that think that, oh, okay, I'm safe because mine is on Facebook or it's on Shopify and that's been taken care of, you should make sure that you have strong passwords. And by strong passwords, I mean your password should be at least a minimum of 8 characters, okay? While you create a password, it should be a minimum of 8 characters. It should have both letters, numbers, and some special characters. Technically, we say alphanumeric with special symbols or special characters. And what we mean by that, with the special characters, I'm talking about if you have a keyboard somewhere that you can look at, I'm looking at the exclamation mark, the AFAB, the @ symbol. I'm looking at the hash, the $sign, any of these, the asterisk, and any of these, the question mark, greater than, less than, those are the special characters we're talking about. So make sure that as you create your password, it has some numbers. It's a combination of numbers, letters, and special characters. That's what comprises a good password. If you don't have that, you might consider working with a password generator. The free line. You can go to a free site to help you generate a password. But other than that, use numbers, letters, special characters, and make sure it's a minimum of 8 characters. Could be 12, could be 15, depending on how complicated you might want to create one and whether that's something you'll be able to remember. But besides that, those are the key fundamentals, because that makes it a little more difficult to guess, to hack, and therefore to break into your shop.
I just have a question for our audience out there. You spoke about HTTPS.
Yes.
You mean any website comes with HTTPS? It is from a safe, source?
You will find some websites that are still using HTTP, but for the most part, HTTPS is recommended. HTTPS, especially where you know that you're going to be dealing with, especially where you know you're going to be dealing with a little more sensitive information or data or transactions online. It's fundamental that you make sure that your website or your portal is actually being accessed on HTTPS. There are several other protocols I'm going to talk about, or several other, I don't want to use very complicated words.
Yes, use the words I can understand, because
yes, I don't want to use the word like and basic protocol is a very basic word in a way, but I want to say methods. Okay, there are other methods of accessing resources and sites out there I'm going to be touching, but I want to address 2 people. Dorothy, for those that are watching us, I'm addressing people that are laymen, that don't know much about the platforms but are on those platforms. Okay, but for most part, for those that have been taken care of because you're on Shopify, you're on eBay, you're on Facebook, YouTube, those guys have taken care of you.
There's a lot of scamming too.
Yeah, those guys have taken care of you in as far as how we access the websites. But then we have another breed of entrepreneurs that have their own developed websites. They're doing digital businesses, okay? but they're not on any of these platforms that have already been pre-designed. And again, I would like you to understand that the companies behind these platforms have invested a lot in cybersecurity. So the full department's taking care of security. But then I'm talking about that individual that's out here, like Adhere Systems. I have a website and I do business on my website. One of the things that I have to take care of that nobody's taking care of me, again, is to make sure that it's being accessed using secure methods, okay? And those are the things that I'm talking about that other people can borrow and leave and make sure that they put these things in consideration. In as far as accessing the website to update it, to add things to it or remove things to it, that's what I mean. Then you should have strong passwords such that people don't guess these passwords for you, or a hacker or anybody that has found some kind of access that can easily get in and mess you up. Okay, I'll share some examples that have been of people that have fallen prey of some of these attacks and what it actually means, so you can actually paint the picture. Then we're talking about update. Being that this is your online space, you're taking care of your passwords. Make sure as well that you keep your browsers up to date. You're doing an online business, okay? Look at keeping your browsers up to date as you repainting or doing something with your premise, so you can maybe securing your doors or something, to make sure that things are in order. When we are looking at updates, and I'm talking about plugins and extensions on your web, on your browsers, I'm talking Chrome, Firefox, Microsoft Edge, for those that use Microsoft Edge. You once in a while see these kinds of pop-ups. A browser plugin has been installed. Find out what's that is being installed, because sometimes you get plugins that are gonna cause a lot of havoc for you. Okay, so make sure your browser is up to date. And this thing called a plugin or extension, be wary and be careful, because sometimes through these plugins, depending on which sites you go to, by some random chance you click on something, it installs a plugin on your browser. So these plugins have been responsible for many hacks, where the hacker hijacks, your platform. There's been an example. I follow a lot of trends in cybersecurity, and I also listen to so many podcasts and watch the trends. I've seen situations and I've read about a Shopify case where somebody had a plugin installed, and this plugin hijacked and redirected traffic from his Shopify account to a fake PayPal. Okay? And that person lost money. Because if somebody hijacks your shop, look at it as somebody walking in with like a robber, walks into your shop, and they start making requests. So this is what happens. Somebody hijacks it, you lose the control, you can't do much, and they start redirecting things. And funds were redirected to a fake PayPal page. Imagine people that are trying to buy from you. Okay, they're sending money out, it's going to a different account, and you're having these kinds of issues dealing with customers who are expecting product. They say they have paid, but the money hasn't been remitted into your account. So you have to be very wary of the plugins that you install in your browsers, but more so, keep your browsers up to date. I've spent a lot of time here. I would like to move on to our next talking point. If you have anything for me, Dorothy, please keep pushing and let us know so that we can help our viewers answer some of these questions. As I move on to the next one, you realize that some of the topics that I'm going to be talking about are interwoven, okay? That's just the nature of technology. One thing leads to the other, or one thing is an element of the other. I just spoke about securing your accounts, securing your platforms, Facebook's, Instagram. I'm talking about everything. I'm talking Canva. I'm talking. I mean, I'm addressing you content creators out there.
Yeah.
You use Canva a lot. You use CapCut. You use. Think about it. Okay. I might not have everything off head, but think about it. Whichever it is. Two-factor authentication. Yes, the annoying little hero. Two-factor authentication. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, this two-factor authentication is, one of that. It's one of those codes you see that comes either as a text on your phone, a code in your email, as an extra or additional layer of security. Okay. Two-factor authentication, or in some places or some cases, it will be called multi-factored authentication, MFA. One and the same thing, tomato, is key in that it's an added layer of security that it's about something and that's your username and password, but also it brings in something you have. Maybe your mobile phone. So a code is sent to your mobile phone, you read it, and then apply it so you gain access. What that helps is if you have that two-factor authentication or multi-factor authentication, is that in the event that somebody tries to get into your account with your username and password that has been compromised, the system is going to, if you have two-factor authentication enabled, the system will prompt whoever is trying to log in to issue a code that will be sent out to your phone or to your email to verify that this is actually you. And that's how it works pretty much. So having this enabled on, it's annoying, yes, but you need it, it's key. If you can enable this across your platforms, this will help you to weed out uncalled for or attempts to sign into your accounts. I've been victim to a situation where I didn't have two-factor authentication enabled, and somebody got in, and it took a while for me to even figure out that somebody was already in my account. It took me almost 2 hours, but I can use these words. I was lucky to catch it, okay, because something's triggered it, and I was able to see it. I was like, okay, what's really going on here? But for so many that are not security aware, I mean, they use platforms, but they're not that keen on knowing what's going on. This can come in really, really handy. We know so many people with Facebook and Instagram that have lost their account.
Excuse me, are you still going ahead on that?
Yeah,
can I move in a little bit? Okay. So when it comes actually to this two-factor authentication, when it comes to, like, if you're running a legit business with some of these platforms, they don't even allow you to go and run ads without you setting that, because they know the risk, right? And I've just realized that, do you know that nowadays even you can run an ad on WhatsApp? I don't know in Europe. I think last year Europe, they didn't have that option. But currently in the United States, I think, and some part of the world, you can run, because WhatsApp, Instagram, and Facebook, they're kind of the same. So you can use your business through WhatsApp and run ads through WhatsApp. But now imagine if somebody hacks your WhatsApp. So that means this person is communicating with all your customers. So they can redirect them and give them different links for the payment and give them a lot of things. So two-factor authentication, I was once a victim, and some of my teams were once victims. And remember, if you're running a business and somebody gets access in any of your internal, information, it means they can do whatever they need without your consent. So it's very important when it comes to that. Back to you, David.
Thank you, Dorothy. Thank you for that addition. And yes, It's fundamental, it's key. Yes, there are platforms lately that will not allow you to move forward unless you've actually enabled it.
And as long as you're running a legit business with them, they cannot allow you to go forward without you setting that two-factor authentication.
Sure. So yeah, I'll leave that at that level and talk about something else. Let's talk about phishing. Okay. Now, what's phishing? Look at it as somebody masquerading as, say, your tech person or your service provider. Say you're on Vodafone and somebody masquerades as coming from Vodafone, and they talk to you about something that's going on with your phone or something that's going on in your area, and they would like you to give them access so they can take a look at your account. So they ask for your user credentials, name and password, and they sound so legit. They sound like they are actually coming from that, from that organization. Or somebody masquerades as a customer, a known customer, and they're sending you documents back and forth. And through these, sometimes you take the bait, click on a document, and boom, it sets free malicious software on your laptop, on your PC, that will go as deep as it can and collect information off your computer, sometimes on your browsers, download passwords. We have so many of our friends and family out there that save their passwords in the browsers. Whenever they go on a website that requires them to access using a username and password, and there's a prompt to save the password, they just go ahead and say save. Okay, so yes, the browsers do a good job saving your password and user credentials for you. But again, I would like to warn you that that is, you serving your credentials out to the world easily, because the moment a hacker gains access to your computer through anything such as this kind of a phishing attack, okay, somebody masquerades as a known customer or something, sends you an email. You see an email, it looks innocent, it's a document, an invoice somewhere, or a receipt. You click on it, it opens, boom, malware is installed on your PC. It goes to your browser, it collects information, say it's a Google Doc, it's coming from Google, you think it's legit, and then it hits your Chrome browser, collects information and shares it, and it shares it out. You get affected. If you can get affected in this way, okay, then you've opened up a worm of problems for yourself. You can compromise your email as a business owner. If your email is compromised, it means you're going to lose access to communicate to your people. If you lose that access, the attacker can use your email to masquerade as you, and they'll, scam your friends, family, because now they have your full email contact addresses. They can talk to people the way they want. They can scam them as much as they can because of email. By the time you try to go around to stop this, some people have fallen prey. They have sent money to these hackers. It has happened a lot. They masquerade as you and say, hey, we have some kind of an issue, or we're looking for this. Could you please send us some money? It's happened. And people send out money. They think they're saving a friend or family. And yet they're talking to a hacker that gained access just because your virtual assistant or your assistant that wasn't aware of this kind of phishing tactic, clicked on something. Okay? So we're saying don't just click on anything. Question everything that comes to you, especially if you're not expecting it. If I'm not expecting an email from Dorothy or a document from Dorothy, but 2 or 3 are making it in my mailbox, I should ask myself, is this you? What are you? What is this about? So by asking these questions or even calling, you will safeguard your digital assets. You'll protect your computer. You'll protect your devices from some of these attacks. So for those that have virtual assistants, friends, maybe colleagues you work with, train them on these elements, not just to click on anything, to question links that are making it to the emails, because the moment you lose access to those resources, you then open a can of worms. I'll give you an example. If, say, you compromise your Gmail, okay? If you compromise your Gmail, you've actually also compromised your Google Drive. All right? So let's push it a notch.
Actually, David, just a second. When it comes to that, I think hackers, they are targeting a lot of business owners when it comes to that. And for those, if you're like running any business with any of these digital platforms, call it Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, whatever platform, Google or LinkedIn, whatever platform you're using. Let me give an example of Facebook. Immediately, if you start to run what we call the likes campaign, you're going to end up starting receiving those kind of emails, sometimes messengers, people telling you, oh, you violated this, click on this link. So yeah, they're kind of targeting these business owners because they already know.
Yes, that's a very good example of phishing.
Yeah.
Very good example of phishing. Actually, it's good you brought it up. Facebook has a lot of those. If you're running anything,
once you run the likes
on
campaign
Facebook,
like this, because now they're seeing that you're coming in for the business, hackers, they
target you.
Yeah, they target
and they always catch you
a lot.
They always catch you if you're not aware.
If you're not aware, they always catch you. But if you have that 2-factor authentication, and sometimes if you have a recovery, recently, was it a week ago? They hacked my YouTube, and what saved me is one that I had that recovery. These hackers, they're kind of smart. Then you have to be smarter than them, right? So I had 2-factor authentication, imagine, but then somebody managed to take the YouTube. So this is where I had the recovery email. So I had to go through my recovery email and then sent me the 2-factor authentication on my recovery email so that I can go in again. And then I changed everything. Immediately, when they allow you to go in, they will let you know what happened, and they tell you to change your email right away. So this goes to all business owners, because you might not, you might see it as something easy, but once it is on you, because me, I didn't know that, I didn't see myself like, having something on YouTube or something like that, or even make it that serious. But once you start to run business, remember, for those who run YouTube ads, you all know that you go through Google ads, but then your YouTube, it's the one displaying that, to people. So it means that however much you're going to like the Google ads, and remember this Gmail, I think, David, you should talk about that. They are the Gmails, they're public domain, so they're very easy to be scammed, to be hacked. I think that's why when you're doing a business, it's very nice to have the professional, email. I think, David, you're gonna, talk about that. Let me just get back to you.
All right. Thank you for pointing out those elements, Dorothy. Yes, it's important to have additional elements into your account creation. Whenever you try to create an account and they say, provide a second email address or recovery email address, please take advantage of it. Create one. Share your phone number. I know it sounds like you're giving away too much information, but again,
it's your business.
You realize that it's going to be to your advantage
you're
if you
setting up a business. So what is a phone number to a business you invested over 20,000? Come on.
So you have to look into these things. And then again, when you're running a business, I think at some point you have to realize that running your business on a public domain, such as Yahoo, Gmail, is a good idea when you're starting because you're trying to build. But I think it's not something you should get very comfortable with, because
No,
then you become a
definitely
very
it's not a good idea to run a business using a public domain.
You become a big target. I know people that start from somewhere. Somebody wants to set up a Shopify, okay? They're starting with Shopify. Shopify is going to work with your Gmail account, your Yahoo account. They're going to set you up. You're running a business, yes.
Yes.
And yeah, because initially when you're starting, there are people that start businesses with very little money. You can start a business with very little money on these digital platforms. And that's why I'm saying that, much as it might sound like a good idea initially when you're setting up, because not every business requires a lot of money, okay? And I'm not going to say that before you start any digital business, you have to, first of all, set up that infrastructure where you have custom domains. No, people will start, okay? But as you're growing your business, we're saying you shouldn't get very comfortable, especially when you start realizing that you're growing to a certain level, and you need to set up certain things. You need to set yourself up to operate securely. It's not a place to get comfortable with, because that's how you started and it's still working for you. People have gotten comfortable, operated for close to 10 years on these
with the Gmail
public. Yes, I know companies that have traded like that for some very good years, okay, until you walk in to do some kind of review and say,
until
hey,
they hack them, right?
Yeah, even before there's some companies that haven't been hacked, but they have their vulnerabilities, but they haven't taken these things seriously until you come and paint the picture, and they'll realize and say, oh wow, so it's that bad. Then they will change. And that's why we bring it out here, because we're not
even global companies can do that.
It's less likely that you'll find a global company. I'm talking about small,
that's why I was I'm like
talking about Dorothy. Here I'm not addressing only the big dogs. I'm addressing anybody that's doing business online. If you're doing a digital business,
okay,
you're going to find people at all levels. You're going to find beginners, and you're going to find people that have been there, intermediary, people that have been doing business for a while. Many times when a business has gone global, it has gone through certain layers.
Yeah.
And part of that process is setting up departments and setting up itself for success. There are compliances you have to meet along the way. So pretty much those people have gone through, they're at a certain maturity level. And something like email addresses, many of them have taken care of these issues. So, but there are people that are doing still global businesses, but they haven't considered, because the level at which they're operating, they haven't yet considered securing or working with secure. Yes, the people that are doing global businesses, but they're still doing Gmail. They're there. Yeah, they're there, and they haven't set up because they're using a different strategy. You might be using a strategy as part of your strategy, you have to set up these domains. But there are people that are doing global business and they're using public domains. They haven't set up, securely. So that's why we're saying, if you're in that kind of boat, it's about that time that you start thinking about these things, so that you try to manage. Manage your communication, manage your resources securely. I'll move on to something else. I'll go to the cloud. I mentioned Gmail. People that are working with, a lot of people are working with Google, and they love the cloud because the cloud is a wonderful place where you can save your documents. You can save your documents, access them across different devices and platforms. If you have your data in Google Drive, you can access it on your phone, you can access it on your tab. All you need is sign in and your drive is there. You can access it on your PC across the globe, okay? Which is very wonderful. but we're saying that the cloud doesn't mean you're invincible. It doesn't mean that you're secure and, oh yeah, I am on Google Drive and things are good. We're saying if you don't take care of the prior elements we spoke of, remember when we were talking about securing or creating secure passwords for your email, setting up two-factor authentication, okay? Not clicking whichever way you want, all over the place, all kinds of links and documents. So if you have a very insecure setup, it means that your drive is also vulnerable, and it can be easily compromised because the person that gets access to your email account has access to your drive, right? So that's why we're saying that as you're doing your business and you're operating out there in your digital business, consider doing backups. Consider having an alternative backup, have a backup drive on the side, okay? There's something I would like to share here. This is like, what is this, an RDX drive? This is an external drive you can use. So if you have these kinds of backups in place, besides being able to back up in the cloud, once in a while backup on these drives. Find an external, external drive to back up your information so that you have something that you've set aside in the event that things go bad, you can always recover. So back up your data in multiple locations. Google Drive isn't immune to hacks. Yes, free Wi-Fi. Oh man.
No, yeah, most of my Africans, you're killing them now.
Free Wi-Fi. I know about free Wi-Fi. You go to Starbucks, there's free Wi-Fi. Okay, the password is simple. Right? You know,
Airports.
sometimes the password is just drink coffee. Simple. And you're in. You knock yourself out for an entire hour sipping on your coffee and doing some work because you're working from home. You're working from anywhere. Like we say, when you're running a digital business, you can run it, in the comfort of your kitchen. So here you are at a Starbucks, ready to meet a few friends, and you're doing your business. Beautiful. But we are saying you have to be very wary about free Wi-Fi because the free Wi-Fi can also accommodate hackers. Okay, there are people just as you are, and they also take coffee. So we're saying that while you're doing what you do best, enjoying the environment and the coffee, the ambience, the free Wi-Fi, you have to be very careful that you're not the only person, and not everybody that's connected to that network has the best interest for you or for anybody in that case. And we're saying use a virtual private network, use a VPN. If you want to be on a free Wi-Fi, or if you have an opportunity to work with that kind of flexibility, make sure you invest in a VPN solution, okay? So that you connect to the VPN before you connect to your Wi-Fi, or you connect to the Wi-Fi that has.
You mean the VPN itself?
Pardon?
You mean the VPN itself?
A VPN usually it's an application that you install on your device, on your laptop, on your PC, or on your phone, that will create a safe tunnel. So it routes all your traffic. It routes all your traffic through a safe tunnel, so that you're not. It kind of segments. It creates a segment on the free Wi-Fi you're on. It kind of separates the network that you're connected to with the cafe, and creates a new channel for you to route your traffic. So it means that the people you're in the same cafe do not have access to your device because it's connecting through a different tunnel. So
I see. When I was still using the Kaspersky, when I was at the airport and I turned on the Wi-Fi, then they blocked, like the app just blocked it. It's like, this is not a safe website. This is not a safe Wi-Fi for you.
Yes, it says this is not a safe Wi-Fi, and then it says, do you want to connect using VPN? Or it says
Yes,
connect
that's the
to the
reason
VPN.
I see it.
So it will prompt you. It will prompt you. The moment it reads something about the network, it says, this is a public network. It says, okay, so we need to work smarter, connect through a VPN. And at that point, you have to switch to go through the VPN. That's how you cut off other users on that free network. Same goes for the networks in the hotels. Okay, if you ever find yourself in a hotel and you want to use your laptop for work, make sure you connect through that VPN. You could be at a conference. Okay, those conference Wi-Fi's, they're free. Okay, they'll give you a password, yes, but the network might not be secure. So for you to create that layer of security for yourself, work with the Wi-Fi. Okay. So I wanted to talk of a nomad who lost his due to an insecure connection he was on, and that was in a cafe actually. When I was talking about cafes, he was there. I mean, he does crypto. You can do your crypto from anywhere. But he logged on to this network, and he didn't have any kind of protection. But unfortunately, on the same network was a hacker. Probably they knew him, and they knew how he operates, and he was doing good. They cleaned him out because he used a network that did not have any kind of security, and on the same network were people that were targeting him, and that's how he lost his crypto, because they were able to sign in with him. I mean, read his information and move things, logged into his wallet and cleaned him out. So you might never know how it happened, but many of these free resources will be a source of your downfall. So stop reusing passwords. Yes, like I said, vulnerabilities and our habits are things we have to watch as we're operating these digital spaces or working our digital businesses. One of the things that we should look out for is passwords that we reuse. You create one nice password, you think it's the bomb, it's a killer, and then before you know it, you're sharing it or you're reusing it for your Facebook, Instagram, banking, name it. Okay, one nice password is being reused across your platforms. So what are the odds that the person that gains access to your password for one account is going to try and reuse that same password to access other resources they think you might be on? For instance, if somebody, imagine this, if somebody gains access to your Gmail, all right? And I'm not saying this to scare you, but inside your Gmail account, do you know there is an area that will show other connected apps? You can easily see which other apps are connected to your Gmail.
Yes.
I can easily see that your Gmail is connected to your Facebook. So once in a while you log in to your Facebook using your Gmail, say log in with Gmail. So those other accounts or platforms that you connect with the same account, you just opened up a whole new set of problems, because those as well are going to get affected. Imagine you're using Amazon. You own Amazon. In your Amazon account, you have your credit card, because that's how you buy goods from Amazon. So you have your cards in there. Now, a person that has access to a password that you reuse or an account that is used to sign into your Amazon, if you're not one of those that create special passwords all over the place, you are going to be in problems, because they will gain access to your resources and they can use your account to do transactions that are not authorized because they have access. They
Yeah,
have access
and
to
it happens a lot on Amazon. You can see that you've purchased an iPhone. You can see that you purchased something, and then you realize, this is not me.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get to know that you are even hacked when your bank is the one giving you an alert that this is a big transaction. They're seeing a big transaction, and then it's like from Amazon, and then you're like, what's this? And then you end up, can't even access your account.
Yeah. So when you think about it, reusing your password can be the biggest vulnerability you have within your system. And therefore, what are we saying? To try and work in a better way, work with a password generator. Work with a password generator. Okay. There are so many password vaults out there. There's 1Password. It's a common one. There's Passkey. There is Bitwarden. I mean, there's so many out there. You can just Google, a list will come, show the top 10, and then pick and choose whichever, and that will help you to create secure passwords, so that you don't have to reuse those passwords. Whenever you think you need some kind of guidance to create a password and you think it's going to be a bit of a challenge for you, work with the password generator, work with the password manager, and make sure you find actually a password manager that can also store your passwords, so that you stop saving your passwords in your browsers. Because again, those browsers are not safe. All right. So yeah. And then let's talk about your team. Okay. So we say that your team can be your weakest link in your business. Okay. A weak spot. So train your team and restrict access. A virtual assistant gave away credentials via a fake Zoom link. If I wanted to talk about, I put this here because I wanted to talk about this VA who gave away credentials via a fake Zoom link. Somebody sends you a link. Of course, it comes into an email, and you think, okay, this is a Zoom link that I'm supposed to be connecting to for a meeting or something. You click on it, but then again, it's like phishing, or it's like a fake link that will send you to the wrong places, and before you know it, we've lost access to resources. We've lost access to key, or we've given away access to key business resources. Now, if that's your assistant and they don't know better, okay, your role is to make sure that you train them. Okay, you have these security awareness trainings, so that they get to know what you know, so you both can operate better. Otherwise, if they're doing certain or if they're carrying out certain duties and roles for you, then and they're not well prepared for the digital space, you can imagine what kind of risk they pose to your business. You could close easily. You could close easily. Where accounts are hijacked, you could close easily for months, and rebuilding can take you time. So it's better that you train your staff. If you have teams, people that are doing certain roles for you, they might not be deep into the business, but whatever they're doing for you and the resources they have access to, you need to make sure that they're restricted, not to have say administrative rights to that level, or if they do, they make sure that they're limited to what their accounts are limited to what they can do on the platform. And also they have training, okay, to make sure that they're not compromising your resources. Let's talk about protecting your digital assets like physical ones. Okay, the same way you protect your physical assets, you need to protect your digital assets. remove access for ex-contractors, okay? So if you have somebody that has done somebody has given you support, because we're talking digital. Let's say somebody is in your accounts and they're giving you support on YouTube, or they're giving you support on Facebook, technical support I'm talking about, or they're promoting whatever they do on your platform. Once they're done, please and please remove these ex-contractors in good time, okay? We're human, we forget. The moment you forget that somebody still has access to your resources, you are susceptible to surprises and you know, a hack from within. I'll call it a hack from within, because you gave these guys access and they're still in your system. So when things go wrong, when they're disgruntled or things happen, there will be your biggest challenge, and they can hijack the resource, bring it down, do all sorts of things, you know, do all sorts of things, you know.
It's
they
like
can wipe out your videos, wipe out your training material online. They can do things.
actually, David, I think if I'm to add something on that, it's like, let me give an example. If you're working for an organization, when they're going to fire you, before they even give you your check, they first take access, all access, you know. If they know there is maybe an app or any access for you to access their websites or access their, you know, internal information, something like that, they will just cut you before you even think. You just come and they're like, you know what, it's not job. But then you realize that 2-3 days ago you can't even access their information for, like, as employees, like as other employees. So I think that is worth it for somebody out there, if you're running a business, to, you know, put that in court, that you're definitely have to take care of it immediately.
Yeah, I've been in these situations where you have to deal with leavers. When you have joiners, it's easy. There's these request, what are these? Resource access request forms they fill in. So and so needs access to this, access to that, access to, you know, certain apps and all sorts of things. And it's easy to create them on these accounts and these resources. You know, create an account. So easy. And the day they're leaving, oh my goodness, when people are leaving, it can be any support team's nightmare, because they have had this access for months, for years. You know, you need to get them off. If you're not documenting your IT well, if you don't have good governance, and I'm talking about these companies that you know, mid-sized or enterprises, if you haven't taken care of your IT, if you haven't taken care of your governance right, that you're documenting, people can stay in these resources, in these online resources for years. For years, you discover people left the organization, but they still have active accounts. They have active accounts in so many areas. Okay, so, you know, it's about sanitizing. There wasn't good digital sanitizing, meaning cleaning out and removing these accounts from, you know, or at least making them dormant. It wasn't done in time. So these can also be very tricky. As you're growing your business and you're growing your teams, make sure that you also have a record of your resources, so that you know in good time when people are leaving, you just pull out the record and say, okay, this is the list of all the resources. And this person had access, these kinds of accesses to these resources, so that you kind of check off. Otherwise, accounts are going to be lingering in areas, and down the road, this is how people think they were hacked, but it was actually from somebody that left the organization. They still had access to a certain account somewhere. 2 months down the road, you've lost access to a resource, and you don't know how, but somebody that was working in the organization that wasn't, removed from that resource circles back and does something to you. So we need to protect our digital assets like we do protect our physical ones. Let's know what we have and make sure that we're doing the right thing. Otherwise, people are being cleaned out digitally, and they don't know. You have training material that's out there in the cloud and you think it's safe, but you forgot to remove somebody from your accounts. They clean you out and you can't even tell what happened, So that's it about protecting digital assets. I'll talk about browser extensions can be sneaky thieves. Well, I spoke about plugins, but plugins and extensions pretty much do the same thing. So I'll go to my last slide. It's about an hour into this, and I promise to keep it an hour. So let me talk about building cyber hygiene into your digital business. Again, I pretty much mentioned this: review tools and ad spend limits. Okay, by ad spend limit, it means I'll give an example of say Facebook. Okay, if you have an ad set up running in Facebook or your ads manager, wherever it is, you should put a limit. You should set a limit and okay, my ads budget never goes beyond this. Why should you put up these kinds of limits? There have been cases where accounts have been hacked. Okay, you lose access to the account, and the hacker uses your account to advertise whatever service or crypto or whatever they want, using your funds and going as far as tens of thousands of US dollars, okay, in such a short period of time. Now, if you have a limit, if you've set a limit in your ads, in your ads manager, it can take care of this. It will be some kind of a flag or a red flag that will, be looked at and something done, or the system will kind of block transactions because you're going beyond what's expected. And this will help you as well, because as you're losing money, at least you have a buffer. You have, let me not even call it a buffer. You have that kind of limit that will flag the account once things are going the opposite direction. And that can be something to wake you up on what's going on. Otherwise, you might never know. If somebody takes or hijacks your account, or not even hijack it, but uses your account to run ads that are not authorized by you, it can be disastrous. So again, like we said, build cyber hygiene, circle back into your resources and see who has access to what, and knock off levers. Okay, levers, I mean people that have done some work for you, have been on these platforms, but are no longer active with the organization or with your business. Get them out of the way and run it securely. So that's it for today, Dorothy. We can always add on to this because there's way more that we can look at in as far as safeguarding ourselves in these digital places, because the landscape is always changing. Okay, the things we're talking about now are things that I say are common. They are happening, or these are things that can happen to everyday people. You don't have to be running a multi-million dollar digital business. It can happen to a startup in digital business. It can happen to a person who has been running for a very long time. But these are the common threats and vulnerabilities that we have and that we should watch out for and try to close those gaps, implement the controls that are required to make sure that we operate securely, safely, protect our businesses and the clients or customers that we serve. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, David, for this wonderful session. I believe everybody. So today we decided to go. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. So today we decided to go this route. Why? Because there's a lot of people reached out to us with some concerns, and sometimes we don't know the business you're trying to run. And if you do not have control of your business, if you don't have control in the business you're trying to start or you're trying to, run, then at the end of the day, how sure are you that you have control when it comes to your income? Any business owner, any entrepreneur, you have that control. So all entrepreneurs, we think about on how we can multiply income daily, weekly, monthly. So that is what is on our aids, like every time. So if you're out there, trust me, think of these tips as your digital seat belts, because when you're in a car or even if you have a flight, the seat belt. So think of the tips. If you didn't watch this live, you can go and watch the replay and think of these tips as your digital seat belts. And you hope, I maybe you never need them for your side. You might think that you never need them, but at the end of the day, if something goes wrong, they could save your business. So don't take it lightly. That's the reason why today we were not specifically talking about our digital business, but we decided to put this general because that it is not all about our business. As long as you are running a digital business, trust me, this is gonna be there. Believe me or not, if you're running a digital business, whatever we discussed today, it should not even shock you. It's not even a nightmare for you, but it's to prepare you because that time is coming. Trust me. And stay secure, stay confident, keep showing up online like the boss you are, because at the end of the day, the way you're showing up on your daily job, if you're still working, for those who are still working, or if you're fired your employer like me, if you're like David, like you're working for yourself, you need to show up the boss you are at the end of the day. And how are you going to show up? It's you putting all the requirements in place so that you can sustain your business. Because at the end of the day, look at the sustainability of the business you're trying to start. So that is for me. Unless, David, if you want to add something before we end, you can say something.
Thank you, Dorothy. Nothing really to add on, but thanking whoever is watching us out there. You can always watch a replay. There's been a ton of points that we made on this live tonight that I believe you could implement your own systems and improve your cyber security landscape. Try to make sure that at least you are operating securely, protecting your assets and also the people that you're working with. And until next time, have a wonderful week.
Okay, bye-bye, everybody. Let's see you next week.
Join us every Sunday for an episode of the Digital Business Forum
at 2 p.m. PST, 3 p.m. MST, 5 p.m. EST, and 10 p.m. GMT.
This forum will feature successful, experienced digital business owners with inspiring information to help you make that informed decision about starting your own digital business. By starting your own online business, you will have more free time to take control of your life, create generational wealth, retire early, and make money from anywhere in the world with just your laptop, phone, and internet. If this resonates with you, don't miss this Sunday.